Hi everyone! If you're watching this video, I guess you're probably interested in sewing and you want to take your bias tape game to the next level. So let me tell you, if you're looking to learn how to attach your bias tape in this particular way, this is the right place for you. But let's start from the beginning. What the hell is a bias tape? Well, it's a tape, as you got it from the name, that is cut on the bias, and it is usually used for finishing edges, decorative reasons, etc. Like, it's used for a lot of things. But we're gonna concentrate on its finish purpose. So it's quite flexible and stretchy, and the commercial bias tape that you can get at the store looks kind of like this. It can be wider, it can be slimmer, but usually that's what you get when you go to the store. Okay, so let's begin with the easier side. I'm saying it easier, but it's still quite difficult because I usually use bias tape to finish my corsets, and usually they are already boned when I'm attaching a bias tape. So I have to kind of improvise and twist and turn for them to fit right under my sewing machine. And yeah, it's really hard to get the right angle, but you basically take the bias tape and you attach it by sewing machine only on a tiny part of it, like on one of the folds, and that's all that should be touching the garment. Now we get to the most difficult part, and tweezers may help you if you have to attach your bias tape to a 90 degrees corners. That's what the most helpful out of all of the things that I tried. So here you can see a little bit better how I attach bias tape. You see, I'm just sewing it on one little tiny fold that is a part of a commercial store-bought bias tape. And there's a lot of fixing with tweezers involved because you want it to look good, so it's not easy. In my older video, a lot of people asked me how do I attach bias tape to like difficult shapes, and here you can see how in a very, very difficult way. I wish I could say that experience makes it a little bit easier or faster, but it's not gonna be that honest if I say so, because no matter how many times I do this, it is still not easy. So when you're trying this and it feels very difficult, it's not you, it's just a difficult craft and difficult thing. But you know what? The results are totally worth it, and you see the edges are already very clean looking, and it's without pressing. But wait until I press it. It's gonna be like a game changer. And please don't skip ironing because it's gonna make your life much easier when we get to the next step. Now we got to the last and to the best, in my opinion, part of all of this. We have to attach bias tape to the other side of a garment, and we're gonna use ladder stitch to do so. The important part is to remember that I know it's time consuming, I know some people don't like to sew by hand, but the smaller stitches you make, the better result you'll get. And while sewing, make sure that your stitches are parallel to each other, like they are not too far apart, because you're gonna have a less tension in the thread and it's gonna look sloppy. And this stitch works perfectly both on a straight line and on a curve. As you can see, it still looks good anywhere you apply it. But what if commercial bias tape doesn't work with your project? It's a wrong color or wrong texture? Well, I have good news for you. You can make your own bias tape at home, and all you need is a pin or a needle and an iron. And that's all, no special equipment or whatsoever. So first thing first, you gotta cut your fabric into strips like this, and don't forget you have to cut it on a bias, and then you have to press it. I'm sorry that I'm jumping to the different video with different fabric, but that's the only one I have, and it doesn't matter which kind of fabric you're using, it's just the method that you use. So you have to iron it in a way that fits your project. You need to make it the width that is appropriate for the project of your choice. Then you pin it with a pin like this, and then magic happens. Of course, first you need to adjust a little bit to get used to doing this, but then you just put your iron on top of it and you just do this, and that's it. And under the heat of the iron, your bias tape basically forms itself, and it's almost as good as commercial one. Then you just repeat the process and you attach your bias tape only on one side, then flip it over and then attach it by the ladder stitch on the other side, and you get perfect results. So basically, yes, that's all the secret that there is. There's no other tips that you'd need for this particular look. Just don't be lazy. Small stitches only, and you'd get this. I hope you liked it. And here is actually a finished corset, at least a part of it. So thank you for watching. Stay creative and see you again. Bye.